My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good
My
to be
skin
black right now.
is black.
Welcome to episode 25 of the BlackNFashion podcast. Oh my God, I'm on episode 25.
Congratulations.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So today I did not prepare anything, and this is my first time doing that for episode 25. I really just wanted to talk today and let it be less of an interview and more of just like a conversational piece. So I brought Diyyah back. She was on episode 14, I believe, creating the culture. So we
Yes.
have similar views and values, and I would say we're both pretty political and very versed in like the fashion industry. So we like to talk about shit.
Right.
So this is going to be one of those days. So Diyyah, welcome back to the BlackNFashion podcast. So happy to have you back.
Thank you.
I still want to do one of my segments though. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think which one I should do.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, it ain't got to be a segment. Yeah, yes, I do. I'm going to do this or that. Because I don't even think we did. Did we do that first time? This or that?
No.
We didn't do that.
We did.
We did do that.
Mhm.
I need a new game.
That's a good one, though.
I do. I'm like, it is. It's a good game. Okay, well, now that we're in the heart of the summer. All right. Sandals or mules?
Oh. Okay, sandals encompasses so much. And mules are like sandals. I'm a sandals girl.
Okay. Bermuda shorts or pom pom shorts?
Oh. Wait, can the pom pom shorts be boyfriend fit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Boyfriend fit or
I like that.
or Bermuda.
Yeah, boyfriend fit. Mhm.
Okay. Skirts or dresses?
Dresses, baby.
Side boob or under boob?
You asked me this last time.
Because I be needing to know. Actually, side boob or under boob?
Yes, I like side boob.
Okay.
I don't even know that I wear it, but
Uh-huh.
if I had to choose, yeah.
Okay. Are you solids or florals?
Solids.
Prints. Solids.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Linen or cotton?
Ooh.
Because they both are something.
Linen. It wrinkles so much, but it's so beautiful.
Right. I like the way linen is.
Yes.
Especially after you
it
wash
feels
it.
so good on your skin. Like my
Facts.
sheets are linen. I love linen.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, let's jump right on in. So I think the first thing that I want to kind of start with is probably like what we see like as we're on the trains in the city when it comes to like designer clothing and things. And are you one of those people where you're able to like spot a fake? Because I can.
I think I'm better at spotting the fake sneakers and shoes than I am at some of the like bags.
Okay.
You know?
I think I'm good at spotting bags. So
Yeah.
I just want to go past from this week. I was on the train and I can spot bags because I used to work with handbags a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was able to spot quite a few bags on the train on the way to work. And I was just like, why do people buy fake bags? And it just got me to like thinking about like I had an ex-boyfriend who always bought fake shit. And I was just like, but why? Like, why can't you just go to like a H&M or a Zara and like say something like in your lane for your price point
In your
opposed
lane.
to buying these fake items? So I definitely noticed that there's definitely like a psychological thing behind what people decide to purchase and what they decide to put on, because either they seek validations for certain things or they want to look like their favorite entertainer, or they do it for the gram, in all honesty. So what do you think?
I definitely think it's equal parts recognition. And then I think a big part of it is also the pressure, especially for a lot of guys. I feel like there's a huge amount of pressure to sort of live up to this idea that they have to wear how much they make. And so if you take that concept and apply it, it's like, oh, if I'm not wearing a name, if I'm not wearing like something, $3,000 jeans or whatever, then it's not saying that I make that amount. So I need to look like it. You know what I mean? And it's like, even, in our community in general, it's like the history of us feeling like I have to have on my Sunday best. You know where Sunday best comes from.
Right.
And it's like, even if I don't have my Sunday best going on in my house, I need to look like it. And that's just always kind of been how we move as a people. But unfortunately, unbeknownst to many of us, it's a big downfall in like our financial ignorance. You know what I mean? Because like you said, why not just pay for something in your lane? Why not just wear what you can afford? Like, what do you think finish your breakfast means?
Right.
If you can't afford it, what did Jay say? If you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it.
Right.
And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yes.
Because
you be hitting with the music lyrics.
I like my
dabbing
music,
in.
It was because it applies to life. And it's the same thing with us as business owners, where you making double what you put out is not you making a profit. We all know that.
True.
Like,
didn't even think of that.
Yeah. That's kind of my take on that so far.
Right. So then, I mean, just because we was having a conversation about it right before, there are millionaires that buy fake things because on their end, it's like, I'm not about to waste my money buying this shit when I could buy something that looks very similar to it and, you know, look just as good.
Exactly.
Which I get because I feel like I used to kind of like encourage my boyfriend, because back when I liked him, I encouraged him, like, yeah, you better sell that shit, you better sell that shit, you know. But then it's like, I mean, I work in the manufacturing state, so it's like, I know that a lot of these things are not worth the money that people put into it. So I know that a lot of the things that are being created are made in like the same factories.
That's right.
So yeah, granted, like, it's fake, but in all honesty, the quality is exactly the same. For some of them, handbags, you could definitely tell. The handbags, they knock those off. But like with the clothing and stuff like that, I've seen people, I've seen him like purchase fake things, and I'm like, well, shit, it looks just like, and it's literally, it's the same materials, it's made in the same place. So I'm just like, well, for clothing, why not? Like, why not? You know, with bags, it's harder because, you know, the glues is different, like the leathers is different. It's just like, oh no, they tried it. You can tell because, you know, you go down on Canal Street, you can see it.
You're looking at the straps.
You're like, oh stitching. No, but like in clothing, it's very, very hard to tell. So with clothing, go full force with it. But I get it. But then it's like, I just almost want, like, why do you seek these things for validation, which you just did explain, like, because they feel like they have to keep up with the Joneses. But you're gonna go broke trying to keep up with the Joneses, sis.
The Joneses can't even keep up with the Joneses. I mean, let's be real. It's one of those things where I even had this conversation with a good friend of mine, because he was like, you know, I just realized that a lot of runway fashion is an art show. And he was like, the ready-to-wear stuff is really more or less kind of supposed to be marketed to just regular people, you know?
Right.
But he's like, what's on the runway isn't necessarily supposed to be attainable. Like, and then a lot of times what you'll see anyways when people do sell things that are on the runway, that price is like
ridiculous.
And then people assume these celebrities are paying for these things. A lot of times they're either gifted, they're loaned, or it's literally just a product placement, but on their body. Like,
facts.
So it's like, in honesty, like, yeah.
I've been working with a lot of stylists lately, and a lot of times, you know, the people that they're pulling for, they don't have a budget. They don't have the money to do anything. I had one of my dresses worn recently by a celebrity at the BET Awards, like one of my dresses, not like nothing I designed, right? Something that I had in my closet. Oh my god! Like, that, it was something that I had bought from another designer, and then this stylist pulled it for another like celebrity to wear on the red carpet. I'm like, why can't sis buy her own dress? She works for BET. Right. She's out here doing things, and I was just like, I mean, I gave it to her not in the. I honestly didn't think that she would wear it. I thought like just was putting it out just there for options. Right. But girl, when them things start coming across Instagram, and I'm like, holy shit, she actually wore it. Girl, I wore it out. It was my birthday dress.
What? Wow.
Girl, and I don't even think I washed it. Did. That's why I'm just like, she wore that dress? That's fucked up. Because I wore it all night. It's a beautiful dress.
You like, I partied in it. You know what? And then for this to be on the podcast.
I don't give a fuck. It's my podcast. Say what I want.
That's right.
I'm like, I say what I want. Like, I'm just going trying to prove a point.
Nah, I feel you.
I'm pretty sure she ain't gonna listen. She don't listen to me.
But it's the principle, what you're saying, where it's like just to have that name on their body, like, right? You know what I mean? The measures like, people go to, because people even are doing like Rent the Runway, and then they doing like closet swaps. And there's all types of apps for this stuff now. I know so
many people that hate Rent the Runway, and they couldn't stand how Rent the Runway came and like completely disrupted the market. But they had a smart business model, because a lot of times you go, let's say you got, like, right now we're in our late 20s, early 30s. Everybody getting freaking married. I don't want to have to go and spend money like on a dress every time somebody getting married. During wedding season, you might have like 3-4 weddings to go to. So it's like, why not rent it? And then like with work clothes too, like if you can constantly like swap them out, their membership is really dope. Like, and the lady who started it, like her business model makes so much goddamn sense, and it's all about putting clothes like in the creative cloud, like, and being able to switch them out and grab them and stuff like that. And I'm like,
the clueless closet.
Exactly, and it makes so much sense to do that. But then you have people that like are higher up in the industry, or people just make a lot of money, like I would never wear clothes that, and I'm just like,
touching another person's body, you know. I mean, thrift stores are booming right now. They're thriving. Everybody shops at the thrift store, and it's like, you almost can't get away from that. Like, you see something on somebody, you're thinking it's something brand new, and they're like, oh, I thrifted this for like $7. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the wave of the future. What Uber took out the need for cars. This took out the need for that. Thrift stores are
Airbnb
slowly
took
but
out the
surely
need for
taking
hotels.
out. Right. And thrift stores are slowly but surely, I feel like, what need do you think that thrift stores are sort of like taken out of?
What need? I feel like they're giving more of like an exclusivity for like a more unique creative person opposed to like this summer, if I hit a barbecue and I bought something from Zara or H&M, I might see 3 or 4 other people with it on. Whereas with a thrift store, I can do a lot of different things with stuff that's in a thrift store, and it's a little bit older. So it's taking away from like an Urban Outfitters because they're like anthropology, like that's their thing, real vintage looking and different silhouettes and stuff like that. So thrift stores definitely couldn't knock like an Urban Outfitters whose price point in anthropology out the water because they have legit some of the exact same things for like not even half, like 70% less than what it would have been in those stores. So.
Right. I feel like it also is sort of killing the need for people to waste money on trends, because a lot of people feel like they waste money on trends because it's like, all right, this red patent leather moto jacket is hot now, right?
I just got one
then
this
it's like
past October too.
Oh, it was red?
It was red. It was like a snakeskin patent leather. Yeah. I got one in the fall wore it to Howard Homecoming.
I mean, it's not the real HU, but we'll take it. It's fine. No.
It's not a real issue. Go ahead. Shots fired from Hampton University.
No, let me stop. You know we always got to slide it in there, even when we don't care. But I feel like they're sort of killing that need to sort of waste money, because a lot of people feel like they waste money on a trend. Because what's hot right now, you're scared sometimes to drop whatever on that because you're like, this might not be hot next year. Where it's like, honestly, we know it. I don't know if everybody knows, but fashion is just this cycle that keeps repeating
every
itself.
10 years.
And it's like, all right, so we know that. So we know a lot of things are collector's items. You're going to have something, and that's what's going to be in your closet because you can go back to that.
Exactly.
But for people who want to venture out, it's like, oh, I don't want to spend that. I don't want to do that. Let me go to a thrift store, spend $20, get this dress, this jacket, these pants, and then once I'm done with it, thrift it again. So it's like recycling clothing almost. So I feel like the sustainability thing is what's going to sort of knock out a lot of retailers and a lot of people. Sustainability in fashion is becoming a big thing because we're one of the most wasteful industries.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Most of our stuff goes in the garbage. Like for me, when I'm tired or something, I give it to my sister or I give it to my friends and stuff like that. And then sometimes when they come back, I low-key be an Indian giver. I'm like, can I get that back? Then I get that to you. Because I remember I posted something the other day, and I'm like, who the hell did I give this to? Because I want it back. And my sister commented, and she was like, you gave it to me? And I'm like, can I get that? Can you run that back to me? Like,
because it's coming back.
Right, and then I find myself hemorrhaging like so many things because like now I'm like, I don't want to give away my stuff, and then I'm gonna want it back after a while, or I feel like, oh, I'm gonna keep it because I can do something to it. I can switch it up, I can change
I do that
it
all the time.
And I don't want to give it up. But then it's like certain like, I guess like colors that I like get as we get older. I think our taste level also changes and stuff, because I used to have like a lot of like, I was into like the skater skirt vibe girl, like I had them in every color, but I remember just like giving them, I gave a lot to my niece, my sister and stuff, and gave them out. So now like I had like a hot pink one. I don't think I would ever, like I don't know if that would ever come back for me, but then like when that neon green came back, and I'm like, well shit, you're like, hot pink might come back.
It's right there on the scale.
Right. Yep. Like if we're gonna do the neons, we're gonna do neon. It was like a neon, like pink. And I was just like, I ain't gonna be an Indian giver this time. I kinda want my skirt back.
Yeah. She put it out there now. She want her skirt back.
Yeah, my niece got it. I don't know if she watched my podcast.
If she watched that one, she gonna be like, okay, she talking about me.
Cool. So let's talk about, I want to talk a little bit more about like diversity in the industry. So I got a chance to attend the Harlem Fashion World Retreat for designers. This was like 2 weeks, last week. Yeah, last weekend. It was very nice.
Good.
It cost nice penny. Just for 2 days, it was like almost $500, and I think if you did the whole weekend, it was like more in the 7 range or whatever. What can I say about it? I missed a lot of it because I was at work. I missed a lot. Darn, but I did get a chance to go to, I went to Nike headquarters, I went to Gap headquarters, I went to Google.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was nice. But the most interesting part, I think, was the Gap. there was a black person there who worked in like merchandising, and she was just speaking about like her story and stuff like that, and like being the only black woman in her office. And what she had to do, and then she's like, she's been in situations where she may have been coming off like as the aggressor in the situation, and she didn't really know how to deal with certain things, but then like it just took her a while, but then she kept talking about having advocates in the workplace, like having advocates, and I'm just like, sometimes I feel like it's possible, but it's not always possible, because I have gotten that aggressive black girl thing before.
Well, yeah, we talked about
like I've gotten that, and then I'm always just like, hold on now. And it happened to me recently again. Like, it happened recently. And I was just like, girl, and when I tell you I snapped, like, I really didn't want to. I ain't gonna say I really didn't want to, but I got so angry because I've heard it so many times that it really pissed me off.
That's an insult.
Right. It really, because, like, first the thing, and then the way she did it just kind of completely, we wasn't even we were talking about a process that we need to put in place to make things better. So we're discussing a process. She told me that my personality can be very overbearing for some people. I said, it ain't I'm a grown-ass woman in this office.
Who feels overbearing?
Exactly. Like, I was so freaking confused. I was just like, what? And she was like, yeah, but you can come out like real aggressive. Girl, and when I tell you, Diyyah, my hand, Diyyah, why do I keep saying Diyyah? Diyyah, when I tell you my hand flew up like this in her face, I was like, don't do that.
You had to.
It was like a reflex, girl.
It came.
And I started yelling, and I was never. And at first, I was just like, "Oh," I said, "This is my tone, and this is the way I speak." But now I'm getting pissed off because what we're talking about has absolutely nothing to do. So, like, if you're put in a situation, where your advocates at in a situation like that? Because, like, you have low key. I feel like you have to have at least one more black person in your office
just to have
really have an advocate. Yep. And then you get like some people here and there. That are not African American, that understand that maybe they're Asian or Hispanic or something like that. Indian, but it's like, I get more than anything on that retreat, they was just more so giving advice. And I kind of expected a little bit more for, the price, as far as like more like on the resources side and stuff like that. And I don't feel that we got that. We just got it was a lot of panels. It was a lot of talking. Yeah. A lot of talking.
Panels and.
Yeah. And, and people were just, just honestly speaking about their experiences. Yeah. And I get that, but for me, I don't know. Like, I was just expecting a little bit more. Do you feel like you
almost wanted to walk away with maybe, not a book, but something that's kind of almost like a green book? Of like, you know what I mean?
I was looking for something like that, and I didn't feel like they were able to achieve that. Like, you taking us to all these like really nice high profile places, on the profile places, because Intermix was on the list with Intermix. L was just talking about, if you want to get into L, you should just follow them on social media and slide in their DMs.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did, sir. Yes, they did.
They said that to y'all.
So my thing is,
that's what you tell high school students.
Sis.
Internship.
So I guess I'm looking for some type of company that really does create like that unity for black designers, and like really willing to give the resources without it being a very high price.
Do you okay, so this is something I wanted to ask you about, because I feel like you would definitely have input on this. This is completely related to what we're talking about now.
Right. If it wasn't, it's cool.
Yeah. You know how our minds are like.
Right, it just got to moving.
But so I wanted to stop you right there, because you said at that price. So do you feel like a lot of the OGs in the game who kind of know some things are kind of like, I'll give it to you, but you gotta pay up, you know what I mean? Or this is the exchange, and it can be like almost and then the second part of that, so that's the first thing, and then the second part is, do you feel like us as a generation are like considered like we don't want to work for it, or we not hungry for it enough that we not willing to drop that bag? Or do you kind of feel like they're not being fair, as in the sense where it's like, don't be the gatekeepers of this information, because it's knowledge that you should be sharing and passing down?
Okay, so
I'm so conflicted.
I'm gonna answer this question based off of I don't even know if I should say this, but I feel like I should just give y'all the real. I had a meeting with her after the retreat. We know who her is. Okay. And she told me that I wasn't charging enough for my services. She told me that I was sitting on a gold mine and I wasn't attracting the right designers. Right. Because of the designers in her network would pay this, and this. And if she went and looked at my prices and stuff like that, she wouldn't even be interested in it. She wants to mentor me and she wants to help me build the business. So I'm happy about that, but I'm slightly like, well, if I change and I up everything, the people that I'm trying to help now won't get helped. Because I think I'm pretty reasonable. My tour is $100. She said it need to be 3 or 4.
Wow.
My classes are $70. She said they need to be like 2. You know, so I'm just like, well, damn. Like, I'm going to completely knock out a whole different market because, you know, of what you're saying. And she was like, you shouldn't have to, you know, work your job, do this, do your clothing line. Like, this should be your primary source of income. And I acknowledge her input, and I'm just like, she's right. Like, I would love to be able to only do this. But she was like, how many clients you got right now? I'm like, 10. She's like, if I had 10 clients right now, I wouldn't need another job. So it's just like, I guess you have to kind of like understand, figure out where your passion lies. Like, is it more so about the money for you, or is it about like getting the money? So I just been, you know, back and forth about it in my head, because it's like the OGs is like, you not charging enough, and you need to pay this. And she told me like we could do a course online. Courses online would be $1,000. Me and her would split it down the middle. Whereas I'm also working with another brand called Street University Project. Same course. She's charging $200 for it. So it's like, I can't do both. In all honesty, I can't do the exact same course and charge $200 for it, and then do the course with this brand and charge $1,000 for it. So I have to and this one is more so catered. The Street University Project is more so about urban streetwear designers, whereas you know, HFR it's a completely different monster.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the OGs is like, you're not charging enough. And for me, I'm like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because like, I would love to make that type of money, and I totally get it, and the whole branding behind it, but it's just like,
what about my people?
What about my people?
Yeah.
So it's
I've been
difficult.
there several times. No,
I'm like, it's so difficult. And I mean, she went out of town, and she's like, you know, we'll come back, we're gonna meet every week, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, super excited, but I'm like, I'm gonna cut out so many people. But she like, and this is the way she broke it down to me, you're not charging people for your time. You're charging people for your expertise, for your school, for your mistakes that you're gonna stop them from making. You cannot put a value on your time, because at first I was just like, well, my consultations are $50. I'm like, but it's only for 30 minutes. She was like, they're not paying for your time. They're paying for you to give them the entire game, because I can give you the entire game in 30 minutes without a doubt. She was like, you have to value yourself more, which I preach that to the gospels all the time. I'm like, don't go down on your prices. You got to charge more. You got to charge more. She's like, but are you charging enough? Are you charging enough for, you got $80,000 worth of student loans, you just told me. Yeah, I do. And then she was just like, and then you've been working in this industry for so long. Why would you give that out for $100, for $50? And I'm like, well, shit, I don't know.
Okay. And so,
right, it's a lot to take in.
Heavy,
that's why I'm like, that's why I've been, you know, it's been. I just had this meeting on Wednesday,
and it's so ironic that I brought it. Well, not ironic,
when you brought it up, and I'm just like,
whoo,
girl, I'm between a rock and a hard place on this, because I don't know, like, I really don't. Like,
my thing is this too. With that, I'm like, I've had these conversations with my mom too, and she's just kind of like, you know, your customer will come. Your customer will come. Don't drop on price. Don't do this. Don't do that. Your customer will come. And I'm just like, okay, but I always felt like this weird pull where I'm like, I still need to provide something that's tangible and like low-hanging fruit, you know what I mean, for people who have this price point, because these are still my people, you know?
Right.
And I still want to put this on their back too. And she's like, well, yeah, that's why you do this and that. Like, you know what I mean? Exactly. And I think you spoke about that too, where you like, you have to do ready to wear, you have to do custom, you have to separate the two, which I 100% agree with. And so with that being said, do you think there's a way to get around it being, okay, I up the prices for blah, 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 up this, up that. Once I do that, that allows me to pull in enough revenue and enough income
to give back.
And to then somehow
because
maybe set up a workshop where every once a week I do a workshop instead of it being as taxing where you're doing the same services all week for both, you know?
You can. But let me give you one more aspect.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of her, she told me that the designer retreat was the cheapest thing she had ever done. And I told you it was 5 for 2 days. So, but for the whole weekend, it was like 7. So that was my first time doing something like that. That was my first time trying to give it, you know, to other people.
Yeah.
But I'm going up. And I was like, oh, that shit was hard for me to pay for that.
To call that up.
So I think for me, I would, like for my classes now, I'm not changing the price for kids, anybody under 18. That's going to be the price because they're children.
Yeah.
Adults, because when I thought about it, I'm like, when I took sewing in college, I mean, just for that one class for the semester, I went to that class 1 day a week for 6 weeks. That shit was like $7,000. You know, so me charging you $70 and I'm pretty much giving you the same amount of time I spent in my classes. Is like, why are you doing that? And then not only from school, but also just from working in the industry, working on my own. I'm teaching things not just that I learned in school, but also industry standards, school standards. Like, and it made sense. And I'm just like, am I devaluing myself?
Yeah, because I think for the children, it should be free game.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. That to me is like, I'm not about to hit y'all over the head with prices for children.
Right. And I already teach kids for free.
Same.
Teenagers, I'm charging between 13 and 18. Those they're paying. Yeah. But like anybody that's under the age of 12 is free for me. Like that's just something that I want to get back and I'll do with no problem. But and then it's fun. Like we're not really making shit. We making little bags and little
and they learn it, but this is still skill sets that once they start they can take and keep going.
Exactly.
And that's the same thing I agree with. And I think like you were saying about it being like for 18 and up. Yeah. I mean, that right there, like that, I had to realize that too. I'm like, no, I should be charging more to teach somebody to sew because I taught myself to sew at 11 by hand. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a skill that I've been doing over years. And it's not just about, oh, I'm charging you because we sitting here for 2 hours and I'm showing you instruction and doing this and doing that. No, it's like, this is me really giving you something that you can take once we're done these 2 hours and go do something else with. So how do I maximize this for me so that I can still sustain myself? And I think I was actually thinking about a camp, right? And I kind of spoke to some people that I know
they have
that have
here.
Children. Yeah,
the So Green Fashion Camp, and I think she charges.
You told me about that.
Yeah, I think she charges like $500 for 6 weeks, but she keeps them all day.
And what's crazy is I spoke to, because I do market research, right? Before I put anything out there, we all do that. So I kind of reached out to some people I know with children. I'm like, how much would you pay for, you know, this? Or, you know, what is something that you would consider? And what would you look for to be provided if you put this up? And a lot of people come to me, easy, $1,800 for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. How long would you expect? I expect you to just have them from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., maybe provide a snack. And I'm like, and you would pay $1,800 for 2 weeks. They're like, yeah.
So $900 a week, Monday to Friday.
They're like, you teaching my child how to sew.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they appreciate and realize the value in this. It's almost like a lost trade or lost skill sometimes. I'm like, well, no, it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, once again, this is something you plant the seed, and they can just go and take this and make buku dollars off this.
Right.
Because this is a skill you don't have to go to school for once I teach you how to do.
Facts.
It grows as you grow if you keep practicing it. It's with anything, you get better with practice.
So do you feel like it's harder to diversify this industry because it's going to cost you? Like when it comes to like a lot of the black designers that are a little bit more famous, they have backing from either some type of celebrity or somebody in their family have money. But if it's from someone who doesn't have like that background, when they did their programs out there, is, you know, supposedly help them. But if they can't afford them, how are they to succeed? Exactly. But then it takes me back to like, is every black person your customer? I want in the back, in my heart, in my mind, for every black person to be my customer and for me to be able to give it to them. But even though these are my people, every one of my people ain't my customer. And I think that's where you got to step back and think about it from a business point of view, opposed to if it's going to be, you have to decide, you have the choice to decide at the beginning whether this is going to be a business or this is going to be a non-for-profit, because a non-for-profit is more about with the heart. I don't care about what I bring in.
Right.
It's for, to put it out there. But if it's an actual business, you have to be able to differentiate the two and separate the two. And I think that's the hard part. We have, like, in the back of our hearts, this non-for-profit vibe. I want to show my people. I want to do my people. Roots. But it's like, I got to survive too.
It's ingrained.
It's ingrained, right. I'm like, but it's like, I got to survive too. I got to make ends meet too. Like, I got to pay rent like everybody else. And bills. And I think that's where, like, the catch-22 is. It's like, how do we really diversify this industry when it's like so many things financially that it's really, that's honestly, I think what holds most of us back is the financial part of it and the mentorship part of it. Like, because you have to pay for mentor. In all honesty, you have to pay for mentorship. Like, I lucked up with her, and I'm really looking for her to be a mentor. I hope she ain't gonna throw me no invoice.
Listen, I'm right there with you. It's like
I'm hoping to the God that she don't throw me an invoice, but she sounded very interested in my my business model, and she wanted to help me. And I'm like, I'm so many people's mentor. I want to mentor too, but I can't afford that right now. Like, I can't afford to pay. I can't afford to pay for you. I want you, but I can't pay you. So if you're gonna do it for free. You like, I'm all ears. But because, like, I had at the retreat we had like a little break, so I got a chance to talk to a room full of designers. So and then I just started talking, girl, and I'm just like putting it out there, and they're like, oh, so you're not really a designer? I'm like, I am, but I don't know. And she asked me that too. She's like, just from talking to you, you want to teach. You want to teach. You want to mentor. You don't really want to design. And I'm like, oh, that's how I started. I have a clothing line. And she's like, but just because that's how you started, is that way you want to finish it? She's like, you can design through all these other people. Don't these other people always ask you for your advice? I'm like, yeah. I do. I design through all my clients. I'm always like, nah, girl, we can't do that. We gotta do this instead. Let me, and I didn't think about it like that. And I'm just like, call you everything, because it's how I started. I'm like, but my heart, my passion does lie in like mentorship and teaching and stuff like that. So as I'm giving all these people all my information, passing out cards, stuff like that. The first thing someone asked me was like, so as an HFR retreat member, do we get a discount? And it kind of pissed me off.
They asked that out loud. Ooh.
Do we get a discount? I was like, and it's for the tour. The tour is $100. I'm giving you the whole game in 2 hours. $25. I'm giving you the whole game, like vendors. I'm giving you vendors. I'm giving you production managers.
I'm taking you directly to the man who does this job.
Right, me, so y'all can build your own relationships with these people, because you can't afford me as a production manager. Like, you can't. I know them smaller designers can't afford me as a production manager. I know they have to learn it themselves. I'm giving you the game for $100. I'm walking around the garment district and putting you in tune with so many people that's going to be able to help you build your business and give you a whole manual on how to plan out your financial side of it, like how to do your cost sheets, how to do your fabric orders, how to do all that stuff. And you going to ask me for a discount for all these people? I was just like, I'll give discount on pattern making prices, but I'm not going to discount on the tour. No. And then same way with the other girl who wanted to do like the Street University project. She was on the same shit. She was like, so when people complete the course, can we offer them some type of discount? Why
you want to do that?
Why do we want to? We are only charging $200 for me to give them an entire 5 years worth of working experience, a master's degree and a bachelor's. Girl, I just got upset.
No, and this is what I was gonna say too. I think a lot of people that comes into me as lazy, because I'm like, anything that you can afford to learn, you eat the mistakes. That's your pay. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I can't afford to pay Lenise $500 to do XYZ, but I do need to learn how to do XYZ. I'm going to go off on my own and figure this out because I can't afford it. That's your only other option. Right. In my mind, I don't think I need to go to her and try to talk her down on her price. In my mind, I'm like, if I can't afford to pay for the game, I'm going to go teach myself the game. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And just get out there. Like, let me go to the garment district. Let me go knock on some doors and meet my own people.
What the pay is the mistakes you end up making. That's exactly what I did too. The pay is the mistakes you make along the way. That's all. You eat that. Because what you're doing anyway is paying, like she said, to avoid the mistakes. That's all you're doing, really, because you're going to this person who has already done it for you. Right. But I feel like a lot of times that struggle that we always feel, that internal pull with, oh, I want to mentor, I want to teach, I want to give out, I want to do this, is because it's ingrained in our roots. And, you know what I mean? Most money is the lowest exchange of energy. Right. And it's like, we don't resonate with that like that. We don't have that connection to the dollar as much as we try to pretend we do. Like, we don't. They do. And so it's like, it's printed paper. It's printed paper.
It is.
And it's this one significant but insignificant thing that can make or break you being on the street or you being in a warm bed at night.
Ain't that crazy?
And so it's like, where does that leave us as a people who thrive on barter, thrive on each one teach one, thrive on this, thrive on that? Where it leaves us is torn, because we have to act as capitalists, even though internally that's not who we are as a people. So what ends up happening is we having those struggles in the back of our mind where, like you said, you want to teach, you want to give, but then you're like, is the black person my customer all the time, or are they not my customer? Are they sometimes? How do I flip it where I can give back but I'm not taking too much? It's this constant, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, how do I elevate to this? But it's and in the back of my mind, it's like, I just want to diversify this industry so much.
Yep.
And it's hard for me. Like, it's hard. And even when, like, being in a position where I was in a position before where I could hire people, and I didn't. I ended up hiring an Asian girl. I hired a girl from Germany. I hired a girl from France, because the black people that did come through my door to interview with me, I was taken back from them.
Really?
Like, somebody texted me. He was like, "Oh, I'm running late." Why would you? I get it. My phone number's at the bottom of my email, but to text me when you're coming coming for an interview, don't do that. And then when they came in the door, they're like, "Yeah, so what's this brand about?" You didn't do your research.
Oh no.
You know, and I was just very disappointed. But I give any African American person that came to me, I give them feedback. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna hire you.
I like that.
But I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why I'm not gonna hire you before you leave this office. Good. And next time you have an opportunity, this is what I need you to do.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, I'm not gonna hire you, and I hate the fact that I couldn't put more African American people on. But legit, I think I hired one, sis.
Wow.
One. And she was on point. She knew it. I tried to hire another one too, but she ended up not having like the money to move to New York because of internship. So we only comping like meals, transportation, like that. But it's like, as far as like how you gonna stay in New York and stuff like that, like we can't do anything about that. So I did hire one more, but she just ended up not being able to afford to come here for the summer. But like, and she was on point too. So I was just like, I wanted to, but it's like I can't. And it's like, you want to be that advocate. And I want to be the advocate so much, but it's like, sometimes I'm like, my people. Why? Don't do this to me. Like, I worked so freaking hard to be where I am, and I push, and I knock down doors and curse people out.
You deal with microaggressions in the workplace.
I dealt with, and I've gotten fired multiple times because of my attitude. I've had to quit because I knew they was gonna fire my ass because of my attitude. Been there too. And it's like, I always stuck true to my guns, and I got to where I am, where I could do that. But then it's like, I just wanted to teach and uplift, and she was just like, you know what? You teaching and uplifting, and you giving out all that free information on the podcast. That's your giving back. The podcast is your giving back.
Tune into that podcast.
Podcast if you want to get your free game. But other than that, you have to pay, because I got pushed back from charging a $50 consulting fee. And I'm like, these girls out here charging $700 to $800 so you can learn how to put a freaking lash on your eye. Like, so you can learn how to do feeding braids. So you can learn how to do lace wigs.
And the woman walking up behind me, in front of me, was like, "You coming to get your lashes done?" I was like, "It's a lash technician in here?" I was like, "No, I'm coming to the BlackNFashion podcast."
I just found out about her because I get my lashes. I was getting my lashes done in Harlem, and then she teaches too. So I went on her page, and I'm like, oh my God, her address was there. I'm like, that's where I do my podcast. So maybe I gotta check her out. But then I went in and looked at some prices, and I was just like, I'm not paying you $175 to stick no lashes on my eye when my girl in Harlem charges me $70. I'm not gonna do it. But then I know I went into her like teaching thing. Girl, and the girl charged like $500.
Wow.
To be with her for an hour to watch her.
To do it, not actually do it, just watch.
Just to watch her do it. And I was looking, and then I started looking at other people who, like, I saw a girl who does microblading. Her class is like, to come for that one day, $1,000. Wow. To teach you how to microblade and microshade somebody's eyebrows. And I'm like, damn, am I really devaluing myself on what I could be making? Because I'm keeping a lot of people out of having to go to school. Cosmetology school would have been double that. Esthetician school would have been double that.
Of course.
Design school is fucking too much. So, but I guess we gotta separate it. We gotta separate our nonprofit brains.
That's
to our S Corp and our LLC brains. Like, they have to be separate, and we can't put them together in order to diversify the industry.
Right.
Or we have to try our best to come together so that we're not taking these big losses by ourselves, which is also very difficult because you try to get a whole bunch of designers together and it can either go really good or it can go really bad.
Correct.
I don't know where it's going sometimes.
Correct. You got all these creatives in this space trying to work together, and it's like I think it's always important to kind of come together and create a common goal, because once there's a common goal, then it's like, all right, all this other stuff, we're gonna deal with it and go through it as people, but it's irrelevant because the goal is XYZ. And I think if most Black designers could get on the same page and kind of say, yeah, I'm going to charge this price point, but this is not for y'all. This is for them.
Right.
This is for y'all. I got something for y'all in 2 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm starting to see more of. I don't know if you've been peeping it and I've been liking it. You got to, like, it's kind of like slowly but surely happening. Some, like, designers are starting to I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing more episodes, I'm coming out and I'm speaking up. You're seeing more people do interviews, do this, do that. And it's like, okay, because I think they're realizing now the effects that it's had on generations, and I mean primarily our generation too, if you think about it, because we are directly under her and them. And it's like, what's happening right now is if y'all don't continue to sustain fashion through us, Black fashion is gonna die out, because y'all not gonna be here much longer. Right. So y'all can create all this stuff happening, but once y'all gone, I mean, where's that info is just in a dead library now? Like, the info has to get out. That's the only way it keeps growing and keeps going. You know what I'm saying? Do
you think that there are Black designers that deal with the psychology too? Like, well, I'm better than this person, I'm better than that person. I don't want to mish, because I've been in a setting, it's been a long time, I've been in a setting where people didn't want their things to mix on the runway together. Like
heard
a fashion
that podcast
show.
You did.
Yeah, like I've been in that type of setting where people didn't want it to mix and stuff like that. But it's like, are they dealing with their own insecurities when it comes to their brand and their psychological? Like, well, I'm at this level already, and I'm not here with you guys, so I'm beneath you. And it's just like, damn, I mean, even if we don't make the same shit, or even if we're not in the same, I guess, level in our careers, it's not, to me, it's hard to say career levelage, because it's like, maybe that's where you want to be, baby.
Yeah, with anything creative,
you want to be in the couture, or you want to be in this place, whereas I make everyday clothes, so I would never be there, because I don't make like evening wear or wedding dresses, or like suiting. Like, I'll make stuff for the everyday person, so my price point is always going to be lower than yours. And my clients are not on Instagram or reposting everything for something that they probably wear to work, whereas your client and your following counts because it's a life event. You're an event designer. So, like, you are always going to have way more of a following than me, because of the type of things that you do. You know? So, it's just going to always be a different level. But to them, it's just like, I'm popping, you not popping, and I don't want to mesh with you.
This is, I have to read this to you. I know this is
read.
Like,
I'm like,
I have to, because my sister Esma, she posted it on like Facebook, and I had to like hurry up and like snatch that, because
you screenshotted it.
I did.
Let me get that.
And I blew that up, because I was like, hell yeah. The wording was just so on point for where we are as Black people right now, trying to figure out everything. Everybody's at this point now where it's like, fuck, where do we start? Because we know we need each other, and we know what's happening. I can say honestly, more now than ever, I feel like everybody is up and seeing what's happening. Even if they're not reacting, I think a lot of people's lack of reaction is because they don't know where to start. But let me just read this to you.
Go ahead. Read it to the world.
All right. Unity of our people does not mean we are the same. A lesson that I have been learning through the years, but truly has been resounded inside of me as I work to complete my training, is that although we are here together as African indigenous people, we are very different from each other. You can argue that this is DNA or tribal origin or experiences here in the Ma'afa, or whether it's because we are from West Coast, East Coast, or South Side, that makes our values, actions, practices, feelings about things, and even language very different from one another. No, we won't agree on many things. Sometimes disagreements are best left unsaid for the sake of the group. It doesn't mean you're repping your culture any less. It may just mean that at that moment you put unity first. We may be very different culturally, religiously, and in our values here in the United States, but in the end we are all still one people. Unity doesn't mean we won't have our differences. It just means we stand together against adversity and all things that matter to our people as a whole. Sometimes silence is best when we deal with our people. Keeping your opinion and ideology to yourself just so we can get the job done. Because ultimately, doing the work is all that matters.
Oh, that's lit, sis.
Like,
if she didn't hit the nail on the head.
Come on.
If she didn't hit the nail on the head.
I saw that and I was like, yeah, that part.
And when I post a video to promote this, I will be posting with you reading that.
Go for it. Please go for it.
Wow.
I felt those words so deeply. I had to repost that, and I was like, because I'm at this space now, I'm not even going to, I made this joke with somebody. I said, what I'm seeing is like a lot of people now kind of stepping into their age of awakening and learning and studying, right?
Right.
For a lot of us who our original like students have been learning all our lives, that's something that kind of came naturally. Right. But some people are just now starting to pick up some of these books by Frances Cress Welsing and like Umar Muhammad and like Dr. York and all these people.
I'm finding that people are doing,
and it's great, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, but what cracks me up is that I can peep like, all right, this person got stuck in learning about this particular stretch of history. They like this. Now they stuck to this, they like it, they resonate with it. So now you're gonna take that and debate with your brother across the street because he's this and you're that. Where it's like, get past that and keep learning so that we can all come together with the information and do what we need to do with it. Like, you know what I mean? My people, like you said. My people. But tying it back into fashion, that to me was like, yeah, you got designers who, oh, my price point is this, my product point is that. Oh, she does things that with raw edge this, raw hem that. I do this, I do that.
You know what's crazy? I worked for a designer, a ready-to-wear designer, and she always did raw edge. And
she didn't finish.
Like $900.
And people bought it.
People bought all of it, girl. She did the ballet. She did so many things with raw edge. It's like, granted, with the raw edge, she did put 2 rows of what's that? Stitching, top stitching.
Oh, yeah,
she put 2 rows of top stitching so that it wouldn't fray too much.
But it still was
frayed. Yeah, it was still frayed, and she did an entire collection with that. It was a jacket, it was a dress, it was a blouse, and then like every season she did that. Like it was always something within the collection that had a raw edge. She just made sure she put the 2 rows of top stitching so it stopped. But can you imagine doing quality control on that shit? That's me in the fucking factory for like 3 hours fucking clipping to make sure it's like perfectly aligned. But it looked nice.
Damn. Your job was hard as hell.
Sell that shit. I was just like, I love the raw edges, but god damn, this is a lot of work because I'm in there just snip.
Something looks so about that, like so raw and so good.
But
I love it too.
It's sold out every season. Every season, everything she did with the raw edge sold out.
Because people don't always want that perfectly, like,
nope, not at all.
And even there's some designers that don't even line their shit that I've seen. You know what I mean? Because I worked, like I told you, in collectors department in Nordstrom, VSC collectors, and St. John's. So it was like I would see all of that. I would see the knits, and of course I was obsessed with Missoni at that time. So I was just. God, me too. Yeah. Something about those knits is just like, oh my gosh, it's so rich looking and just.
I got a sweater that look like it, but it's not.
It's not, but it's almost. But we talked about that, you know. But that's something I see, and I'm like, preference to each his own. I always realize that, and I'm like, I think people forget that. Yeah, old school way of seamstress and sewing started with, oh, this has to be cut a certain way. There's patterns. You almost can't find a damn pattern these days. Like people don't even use patterns anymore. That's like you are a relic.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a pattern maker. And then like, somebody asked, I did a pant for Misa Hilton. She like someone MCM, so like for making the stallion. And then I worked with her for making this pattern the stallion. And she's like, yeah, you can send us the pattern via email. Sis, my pattern's done by hand. You're gonna have to come pick this up.
Yeah,
it ain't in the email.
Yeah,
like, like I don't do the digital aspect of it. Like I'm here with my rulers and my pencils, and I'm just
old
like,
school, baby.
Like I'm just like,
everything is digitized.
Like digital. Like I can take my patterns to get digital. I can, when I'm done.
Remember, I asked you.
Right,
I was dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, I can take them to get digitized. Like here you go. But that's gonna take an extra day for it to get digitized, and then. But that's it. But like if you don't want it in no other sizes, it's fine. Like it's nothing. But like if you want to go ahead and get it graded, then you know of course it's gonna cost a little money. So you know I'm having a brunch. Did you see that?
Yes, and then you moved the location.
I didn't move the locations at my house.
No, because I think everybody was trying to decide if they want to do it at a restaurant, and he was like, I've decided to do it at the house. And I was like, oh, it's going to be intimate.
Exactly.
I'm excited. So I need
you there. Did you RSVP?
Oh, did I?
No, you did not. I'm saying that's why I asked you, because you did not. But right now, I have 14 people So this will be the largest group, and I think it's better this way because it's going to be way more intimate. And then I'll have a camera crew there and stuff like that, and we can have like a discussion. And then I feel like all of the designers there is at so many different levels in their careers. There's people that's just starting out that's going to be there. There's people that are a little bit more established going to be there. And we going to sit in my backyard and we going to talk.
I'm so excited for this.
Right. Like, we going to talk. We going to have a good time. I'm like, this was probably the best way because having to wait for people to get there and they don't want to seat you until everyone's there. And then
people late, people not
like
showing
that. I
up.
remember one time we did it, the first time we did it, we ended up having to cover the people that didn't come. So they made us pay for them because we had already reserved. So I'm like, there will be no money involved in this. There will be no time. If you come late, then it's fine. I prefer for everybody to be on time. But if you're not on time, it's not going to hurt us like how it would if we were at a restaurant.
Correct.
So, oh yeah, I'm gonna set the backyard up, girl.
I'm very excited.
But I'm like, I think this is gonna be great, like for us as a unique, because I really want to create this diversity as much as I can, and like the unity and stuff like that. So,
well, you are building something that I think is very relevant and much needed right now. And it's funny how a lot of us are doing this work at our level because like her and them, they're doing something very similar right now. I'm actually working with somebody who
works with her.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's 6 degrees of separation all around. And, you know, we like saying her and them because we don't want to, like...
Right, because I'm like, I don't know. Sis want to be my mentor. I don't want to say her name.
Nah, that girl. You like, I don't know how comfortable she is with that. Because I know when I get to that point, I'm like, oh, shout my name out anytime you want. Like, whatever. But everybody not like that. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why I've only had one meeting.
Yep.
You know, she gave me a lot of good, but I'm like, I ain't going to say too much because I don't want to be like, look now, little heifer.
I'm telling you, I feel it. I mean, I'm learning so much where I'm at right now. But
she did ask me. She said, "Are you mentally prepared to have your own business? Because you'll be able to quit your job in 3 weeks. How much is it gonna take for you to quit your job?" I was just like, "Oh."
Have you given that thought?
I've given it thought. I'm mentally prepared to have my own business. Good. But what I don't want to do is because she kept, more so putting it under that umbrella,
right? Which
would knock out LC Apparel Consulting, like putting everything underneath her umbrella. And then, like when I was talking about having that's what I'm saying.
Wait,
she asked me about right, that's what she said. She's like, well, we can put under that umbrella for a little while, and then you can kind of branch out into your own. But then another thing that she said was, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. That was the first thing that she said about like putting it all underneath that umbrella, and then branching out onto your own thing, like eventually. But I'm just like, all under your umbrella? I get it, you got the contacts or whatever, but
so
it's
everything you create is going to be considered hers,
right, under that umbrella. So that shit kind of scared me, and I'm just like, But then this is the kicker. I said, she asked me where did I feel like I was falling in. I'm like, everyone does their development, like I do the patterns, do the samples like that, but then when we get to production, no one's ready because of the price point, you know. But I think another reason is like maybe my outreach isn't as great as I just separated my Instagram accounts in like May and made it all separate, but I don't have a website. She's like, you do a website. And that threw me.
She said, you what?
I don't need one. She's like, you could be the best kept secret. So I was like, well, how do I market and advertise if I don't have a website? She's like, yeah, you don't need that. My PR person doesn't have a website, and then I ended up talking to one of my stylist friends. She works for BET, VH1, and I was telling her, she's like, oh, bitch, no, bitch. She just started going off. She's like, she trying to keep me for herself. No, Lenise, no, you can't do it. So I was telling her, she's like, no, Lenise, don't do it. She's trying to keep you for herself. She don't want you to have no website, so I want nobody fucking know. And I'm just like, I don't think she like that. And then she's like, no, she don't want you to have a website, so I want nobody know. And I'm like,
oh, don't you hate this? It's like, this is you sitting here really trying to figure this shit out before you take that leap, because you're like, no contract. Is there contract? How we doing?
Oh, we gonna get a contract involved.
You know, you gotta get it in ink, obviously, but it's like one of those things where you're like, what is this person's motive? Like,
right. And that's what my mom said when I was telling her. She's like, so she want to help you? What she want in return?
That's always my mom.
I'm like, Mom, we would be spending 50-50. But would it be under her? I'm like, no, it would be LC Apparel Consultant for sure. It's like, is it a partnership? What is it? And I'm just like, well, we didn't work out all the specifics, but she wants us to do courses. She wants me to do a capsule collection for her and her brand. Like, she wants to create that, but then she wants to do it for all of the other designers as their brand thing. Like, it'll be their brand plus, like, it'll be that. Like, it'll be that. So I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then I would be of course, the production manager for every one of these brands.
Yeah.
Not be the one producing the collections, but it would all this stuff, regardless, is falling under her umbrella.
Yes.
Everything.
All your creative intellectual property.
It's going under her umbrella.
Yeah. That's the conflict and like the catch-22 with that. Because it's like, what if you want to later down the line claim that and take that? You know what I'm saying?
Many times up.
Yeah. That's why I did that little look up like, yeah.
We wrap it up.
But yeah, I feel it. I'm there with you. And in the same way you say you talk to your mama, I talk to my mom. And the first thing she always goes is, be careful of that. Mama, she call me mama. She go, be careful of that, mama. She goes, it sounds good, but what do people do when they're trying to get you? They upsell you with all the things and all the promises.
Right.
And it's like, until you see something on paper, until you sit down and
True.
it's solidified and decided, don't assume.
Yeah.
And don't be like that googly-eyed girl, just excited.
Don't have
and
that tunnel
mom kept
vision.
saying, yep, she was like, make sure that you and all those designers on your, whatever y'all doing, don't put those people on pedestals. She's like, that's the biggest mistake you can make, because they are coming to you because you have something that they need or want.
Facts.
So remember that, like, you still have a certain amount of value. Yeah.
True. All right. We had a good talk today.
I know.
All right, so thank you guys again for tuning in. I'll make sure I put all our information in the show notes. And as I say, stay black. Peace out.
Peace.